Mario Matter listeners, you're not used to me being in the intro because, well, you're used to the intro. I want to let you know during the introduction of this podcast, so the entire time before the reading a headline segment, there are 6 codes shown on the screen at different points to receive a flying Tera type Lechonk for free in your Pokemon Scarlet and Violet games. One will pop up every couple minutes on the screen. It will not be hidden. It'll be very, very obvious. To use these codes, you have to play for a little bit, but once you are in, hit the X button and then select Poke Portal from the menu, select Mystery Gift, and then select Get With Code/Password to connect to the internet, and then you enter your code. Enter the code exactly as it appears, and if it does not work, unfortunately, somebody already beat you to it. Thank you so much to Jeremy Rivera for DMing me these codes on Twitter and supplying the codes. And let's get to a very, very juicy Mario Matter episode. The Mario Matter. Episode number 33. How are we all doing? Welcome back to the show, the podcast with your host, M. Swizzle. But you already knew that because you looked at the podcast uploader and it said M. Swizzle. You had to have known, right? It was me. So, welcome here. Nintendo news. We got a lot of it. I think this podcast actually has great potential to be my longest one yet. I'm looking at my show notes, and there are literally 4 pages, 3 segments, not including answering your questions. Guys, we have a lot of stuff. Things have been happening. I've grabbed every single bit of news. We have some hard names to pronounce later on. We have 3 segments of news. A lot of Miyamoto. Xbox is even in the news, but it's like Nintendo Xbox news. So it is still Nintendo related, and it's a bit of controversy, so we'll get into all that. Anyways, about me, about the show, about what I've been doing, for those who listen to the intro, not to make it about me, but, it's kind of cool to talk about this kind of stuff because, I don't know, podcasts, you kind of ramble on and you talk. I'm holding a WaveBird GameCube controller right now. This is a GameCube WaveBird. Okay. Now, I don't know if you can tell, especially if you're on the audio version of the podcast. Like, this thing is musty, right? Like, this is from straight out of 2002, 3, 4, 5? I don't even know. This thing is old. Later today, I plan on doing a full teardown and a full cleaning of this GameCube WaveBird. Like, this thing is filthy. I'm going to unscrew it, I think, and just clean it all up. So I'm doing that later. The reason I'm doing it is because I was playing Smash Melee yesterday with my brother, and this is the only wireless controller that we have, and I'm not a fan of wires, so I wanted to use it, but it's like really dirty. And yeah, so I want to clean it up later. And the reason that I even bring that up is because, guess what, guys? There's a long-form video coming to you later this week of me doing something, which you'll see. Does it relate to the WaveBird? A tiny bit, right? Okay, so this video was meant to come out 2 weeks ago, but then I couldn't put it out for reasons that I probably shouldn't say. It wasn't my fault, but it comes out later this week. It's fun stuff. You may have already seen what it is if you've looked closely. You know what? Let me stop talking. Let me stop talking, right? Anyway, so there's that. And then the other day, I believe it was Friday. It was last Friday, Friday the 7th. I put out a tweet of me being at Target, the great store. And I saw these Mario movie figures. They're 12 inches. They are plushies. I saw these in the store. And I had seen these online, and they look very, very cool, right? These figures look cool. I get to the store with great intentions on buying them. And I get closer and closer to these figures. They were in aisle like E16 or something. And so I'm getting closer, and these figures, to me, first glance, compared to what I saw online, looked haunted, terrifying, you name it. These things looked scary. And so I put out a tweet saying, I wanted to buy these, but they're staring at me like they're creepy. And so that made me not want to buy them. I go home and I keep looking at those pictures that I took of these figures, right? I actually forgot to record the second angle camera. Let me do that now. So I took a picture of these two figures, put it on Twitter, right? And so when I go home, I'm like looking at these figures over and over and over. And like, I thought I made the wrong decision by not actually trying to buy these figures. Like, I miss them so much. So yesterday indeed, I went back and I purchased these figures. Now, they are behind me on the video version, and you know what? They really don't look that bad. If I can fix my second angle camera and hit start recording, which we're doing now, I can pay close attention to these figures. So, look, okay. These figures, they might be staring into your soul right now if you're watching the video version. If you're watching the audio version, or rather listening to it, look at my Twitter, look somewhere, look at the video version. These things, like, I don't even know. They're just... They're not that bad, right? And by the way, I want to mention this. That is all for the figures. I just wanted to mention that these figures appeared creepy, but, they're all right. I don't know. I also got a Luigi figure right there because it looked pretty cool. Anyways, for Spotify and Apple users, like, you guys always hear me, oh, video version. So, I don't know when this is going to happen. No date announced. But I've been using a certain podcast service for a while, and eventually they're going to have the feature where you can upload video podcasts to Spotify. So one day you won't be like missing out because of the video version. I don't know when that feature's coming, but I asked them about it because I wanted my video version of the podcast on Spotify. I asked them, is that feature ever going to come to the service that I use? They said yes, sometime in the future. So I'm like, yeah, one day I can put it on Spotify and not have to switch my podcast hosting service. So maybe it'll be in like 2026, who knows? But one day, it could be Mario Matter episode 400. Who knows? It'll be on Spotify one day. So get excited for something that might not happen for a while. But yeah, it should happen at some point. Other than that, one more thing. So, last podcast, for those that even listen to these intros, thank you so much. Last podcast, I discussed how, I'm trying to beat my backlog of games. We're currently playing Paper Mario Color Splash. I've not played that since last week. And Super Mario Galaxy. I've made progress on Super Mario Galaxy. I believe I just finished the second dome of Galaxy. So, like, I went in the first one. It had, what are the galaxies called? It was like Good Egg Galaxy or whatever. So I finished whatever world that was in. Now I'm on the second one, which I believe is called The Fountain. I finished that junk world, and I think I have yet to actually beat the Bowser Galaxy. Guys, excuse my galaxy knowledge. I don't know much about it, and I forgot all the names of the galaxies. So I believe that I beat the Bowser one, and I beat... Well, no, sorry. I did not beat the Bowser one. That's all I have left. So I'm going to try to beat it today after my is it restoration of this GameCube WaveBird? Straight out of 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to do that, then play some Galaxy, and we'll see how that goes, right? I don't know how it's going to go, but if I mess it up, it was pretty dirty anyway, so I should be fine. Anyways, I'll let you know how that goes on the next podcast, but for a podcast that's going to be very, very long, or I think it's going to be, like, I think today's podcast is going to be our longest one. And I've been saying that a lot recently, but, like, the news it gets longer and longer and longer as, like, more things happen. And, like, the Mario movie just came out. So it could be a while. Now, maybe this episode will be like an hour 30, which is not my longest one by far. And maybe it'll be 9 hours. Who knows? I don't think it'll be any more than 3, but we're here. We're reading you news. We're getting you all the news. Fun podcast. Stay entertained with all of this news that you probably didn't know about, because there's actually a lot of things I didn't know about when I was taking notes for the podcast. So let's get to the reading headline segment, where we jump into all of the juicy news for you on the Mario Matter, exclusively on the Mario Matter. You cannot get this news anywhere else. It's not like I got all the news from different websites. Guys, stop. Mario Matter is great. Reading headlines, let's go. Alrighty, reading headline segment. What this is we go through Nintendo news, but it's like semi-small news. It's like we couldn't talk about this, as long as I talked about the GameCube WaveBird, but we can talk about this for a little while, but it is still important news. We just couldn't ramble about it. So first things first, April 5th news. So that was, I believe, the day that I posted the last podcast. Therefore, I couldn't cover any of the news that happened that day. April 5th, what happened on that day? Number 1, Creatures Inc. So this is not Nintendo. Creatures Inc. are the developers of Detective Pikachu that is supposed to have the sequel come to the Nintendo Switch, and that's nowhere to be found. So Creatures Inc., who makes Detective Pikachu, had their CEO and president of the company step down randomly. They got tired of making this game. They got tired of it. They don't want to make it anymore. So, stepping down, guys, these names are hard to pronounce. I've sounded them out on my Word document like bit by bit, chunk by chunk. So, stepping down is Tsunekazu Ishihara. I believe I said that right. And he was the CEO. And then you've got Hirokazu Tanaka, that's a bit easier, who was the president. They've both stepped down. They are done with Detective Pikachu. Their work is done. They quit. No, I'm kidding. I believe that both of them are associated with the Pokemon Company, so it's not like they just like retired out of nowhere. But they have stepped down as CEO and president, and stepping in and replacing those two, the new CEO. Here we go. Yuji Kitano is the new CEO, and here we go. Tomotaka Komura is the new executive vice president. So the name pronunciations, I believe I drilled. And yeah, my guess, not actually, but like my fun guess is that they are tired of working on Detective Pikachu. It's taken too long. They announced it in, I believe, 2018, 19? It couldn't have been 2017. That was when the first one came out. 18, 19? It was around then. It was announced that the sequel would come to the Switch, and it's not yet on the Switch. So it makes you wonder where that game is. And honestly, seeing the CEO and president step down, okay, so it does worry me a tiny bit, because we've not seen a trailer, an update on this sequel coming to the Switch. We've not seen anything apart from the official announcement that it would come to the Switch. We've seen nothing. So this does worry me a tiny bit on, whether we'll actually get the game. I think it'll be fine, because although those are two important roles and important people to the company, they are not the only ones working on the game. So I would think all is well, but that was a bit confusing. That happened last week. Next, also on April 5th, Nintendo has released a new Kirby's Return to Dreamland Kirby and Magalor pouch on MyNintendo for 500 platinum points. So if you do not know, MyNintendo is kind of like the rewards program for Nintendo account users. Essentially, if you buy a Switch game, you can get gold points, which will then make your next game cheaper. Or if you do like a certain quest on the website, you can get platinum points, which then you can use on in-game items or actual real physical in real life items. plus shipping, of course. But, it's cool, right? MyNintendo is cool. And they're giving you free stuff. Anyways, as I said, there is a Kirby and Magalor pouch. This pouch is kind of like a pencil pouch that you would bring to school. So if you're still in school and you need like 20, colored pencils, this might be for you, although that would get it kind of dirty. Anyways, this is 500 platinum points, which is a lot easier to earn than it might actually sound. So you have to pay that. Otherwise, you have to pay shipping, which then costs around $7, depending on how fast you want it and where you are located. $7 on average. And I mean, it's cool. It's really cool. So it has a kind of outlined version of Kirby and Magalor. Like they're not colored in, but they're there. And 500 platinum points, like that's fair. That's kind of fair. 500 platinum points. Okay, I'd say it's worth it. It's worth it. Now it has text at the bottom of those two characters that says Kirby and Magalor. So it's well designed. I assume high quality. And yeah, once again, if you're in school or something, this could be for you. Bring it to the classroom. Show all the Kirby fans. They will all be jealous. I tell you. Do you want to be... They should advertise this by saying, do you want to be the coolest kid in school? Buy the Kirby and Magalor pouch. Store all your pencils, what do you even put in a pencil? Pencils, crayons, maybe. That's about it, right? Like you don't put maybe like a small pencil sharpener, put all that in there, become the coolest kid in town. What else would you even use a pouch like that for? Like to hold, I guess to hold whatever you see fit. Legos, your Switch, maybe, whatever fits, your 2DS, 3DS, whatever it may be. So that's on there. The link is down below in the sources and links link. Check it out over there. It's in the description of the podcast. Next, moving over to April 6th. April 6th didn't have much news, although you have a quote from Nintendo and Illumination. This is the only chunk of news, saying that they would love to work on more movies together. Now, this was obviously expected because they already teased the sequel to the Mario movie by... Sorry, I shouldn't say much. If you haven't seen the movie, I won't say anything. A Mario movie 2 is happening. Like, it's going to happen. We kind of already knew this. So, no shocker there. But that does even further confirm that there will be a Mario movie 2, a sequel, so to speak. So, that is exciting. And, I mean, it's better than saying, like, we don't want to work together. It's small news, but it's good news. So, take that and do with that what you will. But Mario movie 2 is definitely in the works, and we'll touch on the Mario movie, I believe, a bit more. Yes, later on. Next, April 7th news. April 7th. You know what kind of day that was? April 7th. It was a Friday. It was just, it was nothing really. But on April 7th, we got new Nintendo Switch Online icons. So if you are a subscriber, a payer to Nintendo for their Nintendo Switch Online membership service, whether it be the expansion pack or the regular edition, you now can unlock and redeem new Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury icons on the Switch. Now, we're unable to see every single one, but in a tweet from Nintendo, we can see what I believe is 8, 9, 10, 11 new icons that are being released. I'll go through all of them now. So, let me zoom in here. So, available Wave 1 from April 6th to April 13th, which is now, you have a Mario icon and a Luigi icon. Nothing crazy, but those two are available. Now, as I said, we cannot see every single icon, so there's the Mario icon, Luigi icon, and a ton more that we cannot see in this one image for promotion. So those two and more are available now. Wave 2, available from April 13th to April 20th, is a Cat Luigi and a Cat Bowser, plus a few more that, as I said, we cannot see. Wave 3 includes a Fire Peach and Captain Toad himself from April 20th to April 27th. Wave 4 on April 27th to May 5th is a Blue Toad and an animated cartoon version of Cat Peach. And then Wave 5, available from May 4th to May 11th, one day before the release of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. We have the Bowser's Fury Mario, the Bowser's Fury Bowser, so it's like a dark Bowser, and then Bowser Jr. in his clown car. So there are a lot of cool icons coming over in the next, is that 5 weeks? Yeah, so each one is 1 week, so 5 weeks. Over the next 5 weeks, we have a lot of cool icons coming through, so definitely be on the lookout on your Switch Online app on a Switch, and redeem these as they come through, because as I have said 7 times now, that is not all of them. There are going to be a lot more to redeem, so there could be even cooler ones than I just mentioned. So be on the lookout from now until the release of Tears of the Kingdom on May 12th. With that, we move over to April 8th news. Now, this is insane. This news, I thought maybe this would happen, but seeing it true is like, it's almost hard to believe. So on April 8th, we got word that the Super Mario Bros. Movie has earned the prestigious title of biggest global animated opening of all time, beating Frozen 2. It's the biggest animated movie opening of all time. I'm sorry, but when I was watching the first Mario movie trailer back in what I think was September, October, one of those, I did not think it would be the biggest animated movie opening of all time. That's nuts. So, as of now, April 11th, all we know is that, and I'm sure it's obviously earned more than this, since it was announced, but the movie has earned $375.6 million. That's more money than, like, I don't even know. Jeff Bezos has way more money than that. I mean, what do you even do with $375.6 million? Sue the leaker that leaked the Tears of the Kingdom art book? We'll get into that later. What do you do with that kind of money? Make a Mario movie 2? What do you do? So, I don't know. That's a crazy figure. I did not think it would be that much. That's insane. Like, how do you read an article that says that Mario movie is the biggest global animated opening movie of all time? It's a lot to take in. It's a lot, truthfully. So there's that. That's hard to even wrap my head around. So Mario movie's crushing it. I'll tell you that much. Everybody and their mom has seen this movie. Okay, so I was at Target yesterday buying those 2 figures that I had mentioned earlier, the Mario and Luigi figures. And I was like thinking in my head, is the cashier lady gonna say something about the Mario movie? I predicted yes. So checking out, and then she goes, "So you're buying these? Have you seen the movie?" And so we talked about it for like 2 minutes, and then so everybody and their mom has seen it. Like, everybody, all Target employees have seen it. Everybody and their grandma, right? So Mario movie, $375.6 million. Do with that what you will. April 9th news. Not a whole lot on April 9th. We have a Pokémon Scarlet and Violet piece of news, actually, for a change. For once, it's a fun piece of news, not people's save data corrupting and DLC being the cause of that. So, good news on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. There is a new Tera Raid battle event announced, which will feature Typhlosion. I had no clue what a Typhlosion was before yesterday, but featuring Typhlosion, you're essentially fighting a powerful Pokemon, which is Typhlosion, with up to 4 other players, and you're trying to defeat it before you run out of time. So Typhlosion is that one powerful Pokemon that you are going to be trying to defeat. And so it's a 7-star Tera Raid beginning on April 21st so 9 days from now, and ending on April 23rd. So you have 2 days to fight a Typhlosion who is mega powerful. Go and do that. Gather all your buddies, and by all I mean like three other buddies, and defeat the Typhlosion. And if you do, comment on this video, and I will, if I remember to, I will heart your comments. So you have that. You have your Tera raid, and then April 10th. So guys, last episode we touched on how Best Buy is getting a cool art print for Tears of the Kingdom pre-orderers. So essentially, if you had pre-ordered Tears of the Kingdom from Best Buy, you would be eligible to receive an art print for your pre-order. And so what's actually cool is I mentioned on that podcast how I wanted the same art print even though I ordered the collector edition. What's so cool about that? Because I ordered the collector edition, they're still sending me an art print. So it doesn't matter which version of the game you order, apart from, I think, if you wouldn't get it if it's digital. If you order physical or a collector edition, you still get the art print. So cool stuff. Either way, what we said was Walmart had no pre-order bonus for the game. Well, as of 2 days ago, they have announced that they are including potentially the coolest pre-order bonus yet to try to scoop you in at the last second. So they have a gold wall scroll bonus. Now, it's a wall scroll for Tears of the Kingdom. How much better? It doesn't get any better. So the scroll has the Master Sword on it, along with the game logo underneath it. And as mentioned, it is all gold, because it's a gold wall scroll, with black accents. It doesn't get much better than a wall scroll for Tears. Like, we have art prints of the cover art, cool. GameStop has a wooden plaque, fancy. Scroll, like, you can put this anywhere. I can put it on this wall, that wall, and it would look amazing. An art print, while it would look pretty cool, like, I don't have much room for that rather than a wall scroll. Like, you kind of have to make some dedicated space for that. You know, it's not as easy. And so I am really happy that they're putting out a wall scroll. Now, there is a catch. There are only 5,000. It might even be sold out right now. So maybe I'm bringing you the news too late. I don't know. But the wall scroll is limited to 5. There are 5,000 in the world, or at least at Walmart in America. Maybe they're doing another 5,000 in Canada. I don't know. But I think it's probably worldwide. There are 5,000. So how cool would that be to own one of the 5,000 wall scrolls? That's pretty sick. So go and pre-order at Walmart. I would recommend if you have not done that yet. But definitely try to see if they've sold out yet, because I have found no word on that. But if they do have a wall scroll in stock, I would definitely pre-order from there. Now, I'm not going to do that because I already pre-ordered the collector edition and I'm getting an art print. I don't want to mess up any of my plans. So pre-order from Walmart if you've not already. Or if you're buying digital, then that's understandable as well. Then, April 11th, which is today as of recording, yesterday as of posting. April 11th, we had a new Nintendo convention announced. Essentially, what they're doing over E3 this year. So, on April 11th, we got announced that Nintendo Live is coming to Seattle, Washington in September. Now, this is going to be hard to navigate because you might be asking, what is Nintendo Live? Or you might already know. Who knows? So, Nintendo Live is a bit of a convention that Nintendo has been holding in Japan recently. If you remember those like weird concerts of the Splatoon characters and the Animal Crossing characters, you know, they would have people in a room. There was a whole concert going on. That is Nintendo Live. Now, it's coming to Seattle, Washington in September. What this is you go to the convention, you can play Switch games, watch those live concerts in person. You have photo ops, assuming Mario and Luigi will be there. Maybe Pikachu, maybe more. And then there's also tournaments. So you essentially watch people play a game competitively. You could assume that Splatoon 3 will be there. You could assume maybe, what's another hot game? Hot game that's out. You could assume maybe Switch Sport. It's not a really hot game, but it's like one of their newer competitive games. So Splatoon 3, you can bet the house on that. Maybe Mario Kart, that's been around forever, but it's still a competitive game. So Splatoon 3, and then maybe Mario Kart. We do not know any more details apart from what I just told you. September sometime, tournaments, we don't know what game, photo ops, we don't know who. You can probably bet Mario and Luigi, but who else, we don't know. The concerts, we don't know who is performing. We do not know, but as soon as we get more details, we will let you know first on the Mario Matter. And so, am I going? Because this is in America. I live in America, if you did not know. Am I going? Probably not. Because, one, it's on the other side of the country. It's on the completely other side. And for concerts, photo ops, watch people play competitively. I don't know I would travel the distance for that. I don't know, because these things tend to be live streamed. Tournaments, concerts, they tend to be streamed. So it's I don't know. Now, if you're close to there, for sure, it's cool. Great, go. But for me, that far, 6-hour flight, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So Nintendo Live, I don't think I'll go. If plans change, I will let you know. But yeah, that's happening. And I've always thought that those concerts were kind of weird. Sorry, I'm not trying to knock the event. I'm not trying to knock it down and be like, yeah, it's terrible. I've never I thought those concerts were kind of weird, but I would go if the opportunity was a bit easier to reach. If it was in New York, I'd be there for sure. But Seattle, come on now. I don't get why it was not in New York, because they already have a store there. They're not doing much in Seattle apart from they have a headquarters near there. But, I don't know. Seattle it is. Now, here's my biggest thing. You need something to spice up the convention. And here's where I think Nintendo is smart. This convention, if it registered in your mind, is in September. What you need to do is line it up with the September Direct. With the Nintendo Direct in September. You have to line this up and get a gigantic watch party in some theater or something with so many people. You have to make a whole watch party for the Direct. That would be scenes. Imagine the scenes. Everyone going crazy for the Direct in one room. You have a few thousand people, 2,000 at the least, all watching this Direct. That would be the coolest thing. And what would be even better is if they showed off the actual audience during the Direct. That would be even cooler. Hey, we're at Nintendo Live. Here's everybody watching it, and then they switch to the crowd. You can see all the crowd, they're all cheering. Yeah, Direct. That would be the coolest thing ever. Will they do that? I don't know. I don't really think so. I don't think that they will. I think that it being in September is a coincidence. But realistically, I don't know if they would ever do that. So, who knows? If they do, it'd be one of the coolest things. If they don't, a missed opportunity. But yes, so as I said, there are not many details out there for what this will be like. But as soon as there are, you know where to go. The Mario Matter. Every Wednesday. You know where to be. If there are any details, they will be reported here, and we'll let you know all about it. Now, with that actually brings our reading headline segment to a close. Normally, it'd be a bit longer, but I found a way to fit some things into segments, like longer form segments. And this next segment right now is a lot about the man, the myth, the legend, the creator of Mario, Shigeru Miyamoto. Ever since the Mario movie has been out, he's been doing a lot of press recently at the premiere, random interviews, things like this. He's been doing a lot of interviews, a lot of press, and we have some interesting quotes from the man himself. What do I mean by that? Let's find out. Yes, now as I said, the creator of Mario, pretty big deal. This is big stuff. He's been doing interviews, and he has had a lot to say about Mario, about movies, about different kinds of games. Let's go ahead and let's read some parts of interviews where he has had interesting things to say. So, in an interview with Variety, Miyamoto had a lot to say about mobile games. Mobile games for Nintendo, you have Miitomo, Mario Kart Tour, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, Super Mario Run. A lot of these mobile games, they're all right. They're free, which makes them not have to be brilliant 10 out of 10. They're cool games. They're spin-offs to actual games. And while I do appreciate them, I don't know if Miyamoto is the biggest fan of them looking back. He had this to say, quote, "Mobile apps will not be the primary path of future Mario games. First and foremost, Nintendo's core strategy is a hardware and software integrated gaming experience. The intuitiveness of the control is a part of the gaming experience. When we explored the opportunity of making Mario games for the mobile phone, which is a more common, generic device, it was challenging to determine what that game should be. That is why I played the role of director for Super Mario Run, to be able to translate that Nintendo hardware experience into the smart devices." So, he's saying mobile apps are not the primary path of future Mario games. Very, very obvious. But I just wonder, they've not made one in a while. Like, the last mobile game, wasn't Mario Kart Tour 2019? Was it that? Has it been that long? Or am I, being dumb here? I think it was Mario Kart Tour 2019, 4 years. Something new has to give. Hopefully there's a new mobile game soon. But yes, as we all might have expected, Mario games are not going to be mainly on mobile devices. So, don't expect that. No one should have ever expected that. Then, in the same interview with Variety, Miyamoto had things to say about shooter games. Now, Nintendo, we kind of look at them as a PG gaming company, and they obviously are. They make Mario, Zelda. It's all any kid could enjoy most Nintendo games. Now, one thing that we don't see often is a shooter game. Now, you might have Metroid, but no Call of Duty Blood, nothing like that. Nothing near. And so, he had this to say about shooter games. "I want to make it clear that I am not against shooter games and violent games. There are many mediums that entertain people, but I think it is my mission to find other ways to make an interesting and fun game. I told myself that Mario is a character that never hurts other people. Meanwhile, he steps on Goombas. So I wanted to find a different way of expressing Mario. Mario shooter game confirmed? No, I'm kidding. So, while he says he's not against shooter games and violent games, I don't believe that we will ever get a violent Nintendo game. At least, not more violent than Smash Bros, which is obviously cartoon violence. So, I don't believe that we'll ever get, a full-on bloody Nintendo game. But it just kind of goes to show they aren't against it. It's just not who they are. And he said that Mario, should never hurt anybody. They're not against it, but Nintendo shooter game, I don't think is going to happen. What do you think? Let me know. And then in the same interview, Miyamoto went on to explain why they were hesitant to make movies out of their games. Quote, "The reason we were so resistant and careful to adapt our games into movies is because in video games, there's always a player who overcomes challenges and fights their way through. Their struggle, redoing the levels over and over, is all part of it. Just following the plot points of the video game will never work as a movie. without the involvement of the player, it won't meet expectations. Now, I think he's wrong. Mario movie met our expectations. I'm kidding. But really, I can understand that. I understand how that might have been like if I made a game, yeah, I would think the exact same thing. Like, I don't know if people would like that or if it would meet their expectations as he said. I think I'd be pretty worried as well. So, I don't really blame him there. I don't blame him, but look what happened. It all turned out great. Mario movie, best animated opening movie. They chose the right partner in Illumination. Now, hopefully, we see a lot more and movies become a big thing for Nintendo. Then he touched on why they were also hesitant to create a backstory for the movie. Quote, Mario is essentially a character created for Nintendo to develop more interesting, innovative games in the future. We were hesitant to create a backstory because we want Mario to be without restrictions. To establish a background for him might become a disadvantage for future games. Which does make sense. Like, giving him a whole backstory and a background as he... I'm just repeating what he said. That would kind of change future games. I'm surprised that they even showed Mario's mom and dad and his whole family, aunts, uncles. And so they want to develop more interesting, innovative games, and I believe the movie has set them up to actually do that. Now, I wouldn't even mind a Mario movie video game. I think that would be super, super, super cool, and I would buy that in a heartbeat. Like a Mario movie game, kind of walking through the same things that the movie did would be great. 3D game, perfect. So hopefully we can get one of those. And then Miyamoto told IGN, different interview, this about Dr. Mario and why he cannot be trusted. I'm just as confused as you are. Quote, Mario is a blue collar. He's a regular person. So even when he becomes Dr. Mario, there's sort of like shadiness. Like, quote, can I trust this person? That remained in the film. And I think that's the kind of image that's carried down for generations as Mario. And to see that image kind of coincide and then evolve into something of a hero is something I'm really happy to see. So, Dr. Mario cannot be trusted. Short and simple. He cannot be trusted. But that does make sense. Like, if I was... What's M Swizzle backwards? Sem Iwizzle? Like, you wouldn't trust me either. So, honestly, I've never really been the biggest fan of Dr. Mario. Like, I've never really been a gigantic fan. I don't mind not seeing Dr. Mario in the future, but we'll see. Maybe that means he doesn't like Mario. I'm sorry, doesn't like Dr. Mario. We'll see what that means. I don't think it means much. I think that these articles, and even me included, are taking a lot from this than, what it actually means. He's just speaking. But those are some Miyamoto quotes about the movie, video games, backstories, Dr. Mario. I thought it was all pretty interesting stuff that came out. Now, I'm not always one to report on, like, quotes being said of people in interviews. I have been doing it more recently because I feel like, yeah, it does kind of mean a little bit than just speaking. Like, Miyamoto saying that he's not against shooter games could maybe mean a slightly non-violent shooter game in the future. Who knows? Because I feel like if you were Miyamoto and, these shooter games already made are not good enough for you, that's something that I would want to do before I retire. Make a shooter game. It could happen. It could really mean something. And so, even like last episode, when we discussed the Kirby director was saying how 3D Kirby games, 2D Kirby games, or even something new for Kirby games might be happening in the future. It kind of means like something new could be on the horizon. They know something. So I've began to report on quotes from interviews, and there were a lot from Miyamoto. Normally that would be in the reading headline segment, but there were a lot from him, so I put it all into one segment. But now, in terms of legit news, Xbox is in the news with Nintendo. And no, it's not Nintendo games coming to Xbox. It's weird. It's odd. I'm not even sure how to explain it to you. So, how about we get into it? Let's do it. Alright guys, Microsoft. We like Microsoft. I have an Xbox Series S, Xbox One. Like, I'm a big supporter in Microsoft. Like, I like them. Bill Gates, everybody, right? Microsoft is very cool. Now, Nintendo has been in the deep water with Microsoft. Something fishy's going on. We don't know what. Or do we? Or is it all fake news? So, let's jump in. So, Xbox emulators have been banned because of Nintendo? So, let's discuss. Now, the other day, Xbox banned emulators. We already said this. Now, this was kind of a shock. People were upset, as they kind of should be. Now, the reason for the ban is said to be because of legal issues with Nintendo. Now, why the heck would that affect anything? Because you can essentially play Nintendo games on the emulators. We've seen people play Smash Bros. Brawl on the Xbox Series X or S. I have never done it. I've never even, experienced an Xbox emulator, so I wouldn't actually know and be able to give my first-hand experience on what it's all like or how well it runs. But here's where we get some actual information. In a reported email from Xbox to Microsoft Azure developer Aliana McKenna, Xbox said this about the banning of emulators. Hi there. Thanks for getting in touch with us about the recent ban on emulators on the Xbox storefront. We appreciate your interest and concerns. To answer your questions, the primary reason for the ban is related to legal issues with Nintendo. While emulating itself is not illegal, it can be used to play games from consoles that are still under copyright protection without permission, which can create issues with Nintendo and its affiliates. Additionally, we take security seriously, and some emulators require permissions beyond what is typical for an app. This could create a potential security risk, as these permissions can be exploited by bad actors to gain access to sensitive information. That makes the most sense. For these reasons, we have made the decision to ban emulators on the Xbox storefront. However, we understand that many users have dev mode enabled to run legal emulation. We don't seek to remove this ability, as it doesn't grant access to the retail components of the system and is considered safe. Unlike retail emulators, dev mode is limited to certain functionalities and doesn't have system read-write functionality. That said, we are still exploring ways to allow safe and legal emulation on Xbox. We are in talks with legitimate emulator developers to bring their software onto our platform, while ensuring that all copyright laws and security protocols are followed. We appreciate your understanding and patience as we work through this issue. Our goal is to provide a safe and enjoyable gaming experience for everyone, and we are committed to finding a solution that meets those goals. If you have any further questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to us. Now, I will not say that the email is real or fake. It comes from, once again, a Microsoft Azure developer. So that's who reported on this. And to me, it sounds like it's all real apart from the legal issues with Nintendo part. Now, obviously, I don't think that was added in by the person who tweeted out this email, but after that email was reported, Microsoft then denied the claims and stated, quote, "Our actions are based on a long-standing policy on content distributed to the store to ensure alignment with our Microsoft Store policies per 10.13.10, which I believe is one of the policies. Products that emulate a game system or game platform are not allowed on any device family. So essentially saying this is not because of Nintendo. They deny. They deny that they have anything to do with it. So honestly, I'm believing Microsoft here. Now, what actually happened, I think somebody who didn't know the full picture had written the email. That's option A. Or B, it's partially because of Nintendo, but it also is because they don't want emulators on the store. Like, maybe Nintendo had reached out and said, hey, you got some emulators, we don't like it. And then they're like, oh, snap, our policy doesn't like it either. Take down. Maybe that's it. Because by saying that they have legal issues with Nintendo kind of makes it sound real bad. Like, that makes Nintendo look bad. Like, I thought, I was reading it and I was like, shoot, what are they doing? What is Nintendo doing? Like, obviously, you want to take down, piracy and emulation, all that kind of stuff. But it made them kind of get put in a bad light, at least for me. So having them clear this up fixes everything. And, I don't think that random emulators should have been on the store anyway, because once again, that does lead to piracy and stuff. But the good thing is, we know it is not because of Nintendo, or if it is, it's not like a bad thing. Like it's not like, hey, take down your emulators, legal issue. It's just like, maybe they reached out and said, hey, we don't like it. Oh, snap. And so maybe then they took it down. I don't know. We don't know the full story. This is a private story with Microsoft and maybe Nintendo, if they're even involved in the first place. I don't know. But that happened I believe it was over the weekend, actually. And yeah, it was kind of confusing. But anyways, for those Xbox players out there, those Microsoft fans, no more emulation for you, at least through the Microsoft Store. No more of that. And no more emulating Nintendo games through the Xbox Store. So I hope that you find a solution for that, but you're not doing it through Microsoft and through their Xbox Store. So, but yeah, that was interesting, and I couldn't believe my eyes. Microsoft and Nintendo fighting, punching each other. I'm kidding. But, legal issues, I didn't believe it. So, thank gosh it was all cleared up. But speaking, guys, of legal issues, speaking of such a thing, Nintendo is not happy with something that happened with Tears of the Kingdom, the great Legend of Zelda game releasing next month. They're not happy. They are legally not happy. Let's dive into it. Guys, let me know if you remember this. So, about 2 months ago, in February, we got word on Nintendo news sites. I never touched on it because I didn't want to spoil anything, and my video might have got taken down. The art book that was going to release with the Tears of the Kingdom Collector's Edition got leaked. Every single picture inside the art book has been leaked. It's online, and that is a major, incredibly major Nintendo no-no. They did not like that. So it was all chill at first until this past weekend, or really until yesterday or 2 days ago. So this happened. I thought not much of it. And so that passed. Now we're in April. We get word that Nintendo has sent a DMCA, which stands for Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which is specifically covered for copyrighted content on the internet, which is what this would fall under, obviously. They sent a DMCA notice to Discord, which is where the images first surfaced. They sent it to the Discord Incorporation for the Tears of the Kingdom Discord server, where the leaks first showed up. So, Discord is shook. They're like, oh man, what the heck? DMC, oh boy. Nintendo, they don't mess around. So, the Discord's like, shoot, what do we do? They then issue the server a fat warning. Hey, you guys better watch it. No leaks come out anymore, right? No more leaks. And then after that, Nintendo said, no, you stop right there. Halt. This server has to be gone. Take the server down. You have to take the server down. Discord then offered Nintendo, hey, we're not doing that. Which they should have just do it. You see what they did? They spoiled the game for a few. Just take it down. They told Nintendo if they were, quote, concerned about potential customer confusion, take this further. Then Nintendo has filed a DMCA subpoena, which effectively, if you do not know what that is or how it works, if all goes well, this court subpoena will get Discord, will make them have to tell Nintendo who leaked the art book. Their username, their name, phone number, email. They want everything on this guy. Whoever did it. Whoever did this. I am so sorry. This must be terrible, but you also leaked private information. Pretty bad. So, Discord might have to tell Nintendo. They might already even know who leaked the art book and all their information. Little did they know it was me. I'm kidding. I would never. They already have a suspicion on who did it. You can check. It is not my Discord tag. I will not out who the leaker is, though. Like I won't say their username. I'm sure that their account is either suspended or they've turned off friend requests. But I will not out who it is. So the leaker's out there, and so they think they know who it is, but Discord has to confirm. So, guess what, though? The leaker responds. So, it gets interesting, There's more to it. This leaker goes on Reddit on a now deleted post, simply saying it was the leaker's friend who sent them all the images, not the leaker himself or herself. So that sounds like a proper excuse. I'm not going to say that they're lying. That post is now deleted. I don't know if they were advised to do that, if Reddit took it down, or what the heck happened. But that person claims it wasn't really them. Like, hey, go after my friend. The friend is obviously not mentioned. So what are you going to do? You have to go after this guy if you are Nintendo. So things are about to get real interesting. Now, we tend to know when Nintendo attacks people legally. Like, we saw some guy get fined, like $10 million for hosting what I believe was it a piracy, like a ROM website? I don't remember exactly. But that kind of stuff tends to come out. So if we get any extra word on that, we will let you know. We will let you know what happens with this if we get any extra word. And I wasn't even sure if I could talk about this, but I've seen articles, YouTubers already discuss this, so it must be fine, right? And so, yeah, do with that what you will. Tears of the Kingdom art book, I would recommend not looking at any of the pictures in there if you want a spoiler-free experience. But that happened, and Nintendo is not messing around. They wanted to take down the server. They wanted, quote, immediate review and takedown of the server. Do I know if the server is still up? I do not. Should we check? Let's try. Let's search Tears of the Kingdom Discord server. Now, there's probably a few, but how would we know the official one? This looks pretty official. If we hit join server, How big is the server? Redirecting Discord. So there's 8,000 members in the one that I'm looking at right now. That could be it, because like how many people are joining, are 1 on Discord, 2 excited for the game, 3 in a specific server. Like that could be it, but there must be a whole lot of Discord servers for Tears of the Kingdom. So I don't know, but either way, like this is bad. I hope all gets resolved. I even made a YouTube short about this, but I mean, yeah, that's some sticky situation. That is something. So hopefully all is well, all gets resolved. If there is any further update, we will report on that. But with that, it's interesting. So, anyways, let's get to your favorite segment of the week, the one that you are maybe even here for, answering your questions. Your favorite. Let's do it. It's time to answer your questions on the Mario Matter, episode number 33. Now, in my hands, I'm holding the Mario plush figure. I'm going to answer questions with Mario. What do I mean by that? Same as always, just holding the Mario figure. So, you guys have asked me of all people, you guys have asked me questions to answer. Some about Nintendo, some about me, some about you, about Mario, who knows? So, they're on Discord. If you want to ask me a question to answer on the podcast, feel free to join the Discord server in the description of the podcast. Navigate over to the Ask M Swizzle channel, and right away, write whatever you would like. Well, without like being explicit or anything. Write the questions down. Beginning with that theme park guy. That theme park guy asks, very not Nintendo related, but still gaming related. But have you played any theme park simulators? I think you can tell by my name that I'm addicted to them for sure. So, theme park simulators, I believe, okay, so if these games count, then yes. I've played carnival games on the PSVR. I've played that same game, but on a few other like Wii and Xbox, whatever. Those two. And then I played Roller Coaster, if this counts. Roller Coaster Tycoon, whatever the heck, also on PSVR. So that would be 4 actually, because Xbox, Wii, PSVR, and then Roller Coaster. So that's 4. I believe those count. If those don't count, then no. If they do count, perfect. I believe that the PSVR would count, because that's more of like a simulator, But I've played at least 1, maybe 2. I'd say call it 2, because carnival games, PSVR, and the Wii and the Xbox are all kind of like the same game. So call it 2. I've played 2. Next, Icy Tiger asks, I know it's a quick answer, but what font do you use in your shorts? I don't even know that. Okay, so I know what it is. It's called like Blue something, but I have to find exactly what it is. So it's a weird one. It's not like a fancy name that is easy to pronounce. So let's go here. Okay, here it is. So it's Baloo, like the character from what's it? The Jungle Book? I don't even know. Baloo. Bahaijan. Baloo Bahaijan. I can spell it for you. BALOOBHAIJAAN. I am sure you do not know how to pronounce that either, but that's the font I use. Now, for some of you who have seen the older shorts, the font that I used to use there, very simple. It was called Ephra Bold. I would use the italics one, though, and I don't know why I used it, but I did. Ephra was the old one. Blue Bahajan is the new one. So, enjoy me trying to pronounce that, because, it was quite fun. I'm gonna look in this direction to read the questions on this monitor, because doing it over here is just, I don't like it. Doing it on the main monitor is weird. I'm gonna do it over here. All right. So next, Yam asks, this is kind of a weird question, but are you dating anyone? Just the YouTube game, man. No one else. No, I'm not dating anybody. That sounds like much fun, but realistically, like I hate like saying like I have no time. I'm a busy guy. Any girlfriend would absolutely hate me. I don't make a whole lot of time for like, oh yeah, let's hang out. I'm making YouTube video. I'm making YouTube shorts. I'm doing the pod. I don't have time for that. Honestly, dating sounds like fun, maybe in the future, but as of this second, I am married to the game of YouTube, and that is all. And maybe trying to beat Mario Galaxy. That's all right now, folks. Next, The Rock asks, if you pre-order Zelda Tears of the Kingdom on MyNintendo, will you get the digital or physical version? So I think it depends on what you choose. I believe you can order a digital code on the actual website, but you can also choose to get the physical version, and they'll deliver it to you either on or shortly after the game releases on release date. So it'll be there on one of those days. If you choose digital, of course, it'll be there at midnight, or you can go ahead and download it now, have it on your home screen, but it's not playable until May 12th. So it's whatever you choose, but if you get it like on the eShop, that'll be digital. But if you get it on the actual website, I believe that you can order physical. Next, Ike Tellius Fan asks, what's your opinion on the Switch Online expansion pack getting GameCube games in the future? See, I think that would be amazing, and I am a big supporter of that. My thing is, I think for GameCube games, Nintendo does not want to go the free route. Like, they don't want to just make them all free. What they're doing, as you can see with Metroid Prime, as you can see with the rumored Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, we didn't discuss it today because it is a rumor. As you can see with those kinds of games, it seems that Nintendo is focusing on making HD remasters for those games, as we also saw in Super Mario Sunshine. They seem to want to port those GameCube games, but make them cost money. I assume $40 for each game because, for example, Metroid Prime, $40. Mario Sunshine, the whole pack was $60, but, it wouldn't be worth more than $40. And, I think if they do make GameCube remasters, they will all be $40. That's how they should be. And so, although it would be cool to have them in the expansion pack, and I'd probably upgrade to the expansion pack should they add that, I think that they'll all come in HD remasters. Next, The Rock asks, do you think it's a smart idea for Nintendo to add Wii games to Switch Online and Wii U games to Switch Online plus expansion pack? Not yet. I wouldn't port any. Not any. I wouldn't port. Okay, put it this way. I wouldn't port any Wii or Wii U games for free to the expansion pack. I wouldn't port anything later than the GameCube for free. Maybe as a remaster like Mario Galaxy, but not for free. Obviously, that had cost and money. And so I don't like the idea. Would I happily take it? For sure. But I just think it's way too soon. And like, say for example, that all Switch, or not all, but a whole bunch of Switch games were ported to the next console for free, because the Wii U was the previous console. So if a lot of Switch games were ported to the next console, like just for free, that would seem kind of weird. Like, I just bought all these Switch games, now they're on the Switch. Like, I just bought a bunch of Wii U games, now they're on the Switch. Like, I wouldn't be a big fan because you just bought those games, but definitely in the future, it'd be cool to have those games on like a digital library, like how the NES, SNES, N64, Game Boy games are on the Switch now. Hopefully, Wii and Wii U become that eventually. Next, Cactus Lord Gaming asks, which one do you think will come first? Mario Movie 2 or Zelda Movie. I think Mario Movie 2 because you might even lose interest from the fans if you make a Zelda movie because like, oh, they made one great movie. Now they're trying to do all movies possible. You might even lose interest. I'd say give it a few years and then release Mario Movie 2. So my answer to that is Mario Movie 2. Next, Chapito asks, any plans for the future for your channel or anything really? That's tough. So as far as the channel goes, no plans because I feel like you kind of have to, like you can have plans, but like if something happens, like say Nintendo shuts down their channel, or sorry, their entire company, I have a plan. But that would just be to like play other video games. Like and as far as like the channel goes, it's kind of hard to plan ahead because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. So no extreme plans. In terms of like small plans, I want to go to PAX East next year. I want to do that. That's a plan. That might relate to the whole YouTube thing. That's a fun plan. Nothing really. I mean, apart from like, you know, like video plans, nothing major at all. No plans. PAX East could be the answer. 2024. I missed out this year. I used the Nintendo E3 excuse. It didn't fit into my schedule or plans or whatever. So yeah, I didn't go this year. Hopefully next year. But yeah, no other plans than that. Next, Turtle asks, do you work out? You seem like you've been to the gym. Oh, I have. I went yesterday. I never go on podcast days just because it kind of drains my energy. Like when I come back from the gym, I'm not drained, but it's like I wouldn't have as much energy as I might at 12 o'clock on a Tuesday. Like, you know, it would kind of lower the energy. And I have done a podcast right after the gym, like months ago. I've stopped doing it ever since. And you can tell the energy is not the same. Now, I'm not like some crazy, loud, upbeat guy every single second of the podcast, but like, I would be like, and so you have Nintendo doing that. And then, you know, I was a lot quieter than I am now. So that's why I don't go to the gym on podcast days, but I do. I was yesterday. I went yesterday. I'm sore now. So that's honestly a great feeling. Like that is the best feeling. Feeling sore the day after is great. And then you go to the gym again. Normally and then you work a body part that is not sore, ideally, and you have fun. It's nice. No, but I enjoy doing it. I enjoy going to the gym. It's fun stuff. And yeah, it's fun. Can I like put Mario? Look at this. Oh gosh, if you're on the video version, sorry Spotify. I essentially just put Mario on my microphone boom arm. I don't think he can stand. No. It's not working. Anyways, next. Chapito asks, how many hours do you think you have total in all the Animal Crossing games you've played? All right, so let's count. GameCube, I've played enough to know, but not a whole, like I've not like experienced every single thing in the game. Call the GameCube 25 hours GameCube, which is a big number. 25. It's big, but not as much as it gets when we move on. So GameCube 25, Wild World, my least favorite one. Like it's cool, it's Animal Crossing, but like I don't like it very much. So Wild World is about 5, honestly, 5. I don't believe that you can actually check that, so I'm kind of guesstimating. So that's 30 so far. After that, you have City Folk. Now that's a lot. I say City Folk must be about 110. There's no real way to check that either, unless you go back and look at all your Wii message boards. But I remember like one summer, I played it like almost every single day. I believe it was summer 2021, and even earlier that year, City Folk was the game. I did not play it when it was like in its prime era, like the Wii era, because I was too young, and I didn't buy Animal Crossing. I didn't know what it was. And then after that, New Leaf came out, which is where I became a fan in 2012. I became a fan there, and New Leaf. Now, I checked it recently, actually. It's split because when you played New Leaf before the Welcome Amiibo update, it gives you, like in your daily log on the 3DS, it gives you those hours and then your hours for the Welcome Amiibo update. So combined, it's actually 355 hours, which, here's the thing. For my favorite game of all time, you might think that's a very, very low number. That's very low for a game that you can play over and over and every single day. It's hard because although it is my favorite game of all time, like back in the day, I wasn't playing video games for more than like an hour a day. And so I would play Animal Crossing New Leaf, like a session of it, half an hour. Like it wasn't too in depth. Obviously, some days, we might go deeper, play like an hour or two, 3 hours maybe on Tortimer Island. But apart from that, it was more so playing it day after day that made it my favorite game, not playing it for like 9 hours every single day. So just the fact that it was kind of like a companion to play after school and talk to all the animals and just play for like a little bit and then go play outside was fun. And I have so much nostalgia with it. I still play it to this day. I should have played the Easter event. I forgot. So maybe next year. But what's coming up? We have probably a fishing tourney coming up in New Leaf. I'll have to play that. Maybe a bug off or something. So, sorry, I rambled. 355. So I need a calculator. Calculator. 25, I said, right? Plus 5. Plus 355. We're at 385. Happy Home Designer, I believe, is around. I can check, guys, but just at a guesstimation, and trust me, I check my daily log on the 3DS pretty often, so this is accurate, I promise you. Happy Home Designer had to have been about 30 hours, just because, you kind of get the whole concept quick. Like, you're making houses for villagers, and that's about it. It was a great game, for sure. It was obviously great, but I couldn't sink more than like 100 hours into it. So what did I say? Was it 30? I forget what I said. It's around 35. Okay, 35 plus Amiibo Festival. That's not very long. Call it 10 hours Amiibo Festival. 12 because I've played it for a while. 12 hours for Amiibo Festival. And then that's all until Animal Crossing New Horizons. I know I have more than 2,000 hours in that game, but I do want to verify. So, in terms of Animal Crossing New Horizons, my most played game ever in my entire existence on the earth, I have played Animal Crossing New Horizons. And this makes sense because I used to stream it, make videos, all that. I have played for 2,245 hours. Now, you might be sitting here and going, that's a rookie number. I've played for 6,000. Maybe. But for me, dude, that is a long... Do you know what you can do in 2,000 hours? Like, there's a lot. You can watch every episode of the Mario Matter and still have, like, another 2,000 left. Like, you can do that, So, that is a long time. And so, 2,245 equals 2,677 hours I have played Animal Crossing games for. I'm putting my Switch back. Shoot, something fell. All right, well, that's a long time. That is a while. Almost 3,000 hours. That's a while. So, that's how long I've played Animal Crossing games for. Next, Shapido asks, do you play any instruments? I do not. Apart from the Nintendo Labo piano, I do not. I've never really been an instrument guy. They would make you do it in school. Like, I would play the violin. I'd play the recorder. But I was never, like, really good at it. They just kind of make you do it. So, yeah, there was that. And I was never, like, a band kid either, which no shame. I'm not like one of those like people who use band kid as an insult, but I was never that either. I just didn't find that fun. Now, I did do chorus in middle school, not because I liked singing, but the teacher is by far, I think, the funniest teacher I've ever had. And so when online school was happening, I would troll the class. I would turn on my microphone and play, whatever. I'd play meme audio. And he thought it was funny, but maybe I did it too much to the point where he kicked me out of the class. But it wasn't like I wasn't making like it was a joke. It was a joke. Like we had that kind of relationship. And so what happened was he kicked me out of the online class, and then I couldn't come back. So he had to make a whole new class, a whole new meeting, and named it like new meeting because Max sucks or whatever. It was so funny, but yeah, that's a chorus story. Sorry. I know that you didn't ask for all that, but that's the story. Next, Acid Donut asks, what Wii U game is your favorite and why? This changes like every single episode. So my answer that I've been giving out is Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games. But like, I was thinking, Super Mario 3D World could be my other favorite game. So, one of those, but that answer changes all the time. And maybe when I play Twilight Princess HD or The Croods for the Wii U, it'll change again. Who knows? But I give you those two games, Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games or Super Mario 3D World. Next, Ike Tellius Fan asks, what Nintendo franchise do you want to see get an anime? I actually made a YouTube short about this the other day, and I think it has to be Zelda, the Zelda franchise, because I don't know if that series, and maybe it is, maybe I'm totally wrong, is big enough to get its own movie. I think it is. Like, it would do well. It wouldn't do nearly as well as like the Mario movie, but it would do well. And so my thoughts were, there's too much of a story to that franchise. Don't make a movie. Make an anime series. And that's what I believe needs to happen. Zelda anime series. That's what my answer is. Zelda. Next, Noximus asks, what is your favorite Mario Kart combo? So, yeah, I use the same one each time. It's the City Tripper with it's the wheels that have yellow in them. I forget the name. I believe that they're pretty basic. And then the Animal Crossing glider, or I used the villager. Does that like customize the glider for me? I don't know, but the glider I use is an Animal Crossing one. I don't know if that's only Animal Crossing because I used the villager or not. And then the male villager, because I know that weight matters when you are choosing a Mario Kart. So, villager, City Tripper, yellow and black wheels, and the Animal Crossing glider. That is my favorite combo, and I use it every single race. Next, CS asks, what characters do you want to see in a Mario movie 2? Really, everybody that was missing. Wario, Waluigi, Yoshi, Daisy. I had one more in mind. Birdo, Spike, not Foreman Spike, but like Spike, like from Mario Party. Those characters, those 6, I want to see those return. Those 6, come on, Mario, please bring back the fancy characters, please. All right, next, Pogger asks, what is your favorite special edition Nintendo console? My favorite one? I don't have to own it, right? My favorite special edition, I think I actually do own it. I think it's going to be the Animal Crossing Switch. I own it. It is over there by the TV area. I own the Animal Crossing Switch. And I'm not one to buy 2 of the same console because there's a special edition. But with that, I could not pass it up. So, the New Horizons Switch for sure. Next, Gato and Lavar, but in English, asks, what is the best game that is not on a Nintendo console? Okay, so whenever I get asked this, I always think, what do I go to non-Nintendo consoles to play? The answer for that is UFC 4, which is a fighting game. I play that on the Xbox all the time. If you have ever played that game and I was like doing emotes on you, I'm so sorry. Like if you were playing online and you're getting emoted on from a guy named The M Swizzle, I'm so sorry. But anyways, apologies. But that is a great game, and it needs to come to the Switch. Hopefully soon, because you have like FIFA on the Switch, you have NBA, EA Sports. Come on, please. Bring UFC over. I would enjoy it. Next, Ruby Gem asks, favorite song? Favorite song right now or all time? I'll give you both, just so I don't under-deliver. All time, probably Empty by Juice WRLD. And then, maybe Awful Times by Juice WRLD. One of those two. And then, favorite song right now, let me look at my recently played on Spotify. Either Hours in Silence by Drake, or that's probably the answer. Either that or The London by Travis Scott and a few others. One of those two. One of those. Great songs if you like rap music. If you don't, good luck. Next, Shapito asks, do you want to see a Zelda movie or a Mario movie 2 next? I want to see a Mario... I want a Zelda movie turned into an anime. Like, I want what would be in a Zelda movie, but in an anime, kind of like an animated style series on Netflix or Hulu, wherever you have to put it. And then my answer would be a Mario movie 2, because I don't want a Zelda movie, I want a Zelda series. So my answer is Mario movie 2, but if they were only going to do a Zelda movie and no anime series, between those two, I would still say the Mario movie 2, just because I love Zelda and the whole franchise is very cool, but I'm dying to see whether or not the sequel will live up to the original with the Mario movie. Next, that theme park guy says best 3DS game, Animal Crossing New Leaf. For me, it's not even close. For me, I love that game so much. Soundtrack, really just comparing it to other Animal Crossing games and the entire concept of Animal Crossing. Talk to your villagers, build up your entire town, all the characters in there that make your day so much better. Porter the monkey, everything in that game I love so much. Main Street compared to New Horizons. New Horizons does not have Main Street. Everything is perfect about Animal Crossing New Leaf. I would change nothing. Next, Ike Tellius Finn asks, best Japanese exclusive Famicom game if you've played any. Best Japanese exclusive Famicom game. I've not played any. No, I wouldn't know. I probably should, because I am kind of missing out by not playing some exclusive games, but I've not played any, so I can't really answer that. Sorry about that. Next, Jeremy Plays asks, favorite anime? Also, do you prefer subbed or dubbed? So, like subtitles or like dub over? Yeah, so I don't watch anime, but honestly, okay, does this count? Nintendo and, whoever they made the movie with back in the day, back in, I believe, 2006, made a Japanese Animal Crossing animated movie. That is, it's in an animated style, anime style movie. Does that count? Because if that counts, that is my favorite, I guess, quote unquote, anime. It's a movie, but if that counts, it's the Animal Crossing Japanese movie in 2006, I believe. It was based on Animal Crossing Wild World, and I thought it was very cool. Now, in terms of subbed or dubbed, that movie, the one that I watched, was dubbed over. So it was new voices. I think I prefer dubbed just because with subtitles, yeah, it's more clear and it's not some like weird voice, but you have to read every single word, and that's fine. I'm not at all complaining about reading. I love to read. I'm reading questions, for God's sake. Like, come on. I like to read, but I would just like to hear the characters and the voiceovers have some kind of personality to them. And so I prefer dubbed. I don't like to read subtitles ever, like for anything. Even like different languages, like it's just kind of a hassle. So I do prefer dubbed. And even like for directs, for Nintendo Directs, like there's a Japanese man talking, but an American man dubbing over it. Like, I would not want to read directs in subtitles. Like, please no. So, dubbed is the way to go, in my opinion. Next, Craigslist96 asks, have you ever pirated or illegally downloaded a video game? I have not. So, although I do download and mod my consoles, like the Wii U, Wii, I have made a promise to myself. Right, Mario? I will not do that, because that's where it gets bad. When you pirate, when you illegally do that kind of stuff, like, it's illegal, obvious. So it's like, you can't do that. I don't recommend it. You can't really get away with that. Or people do every day. But I will not engage in such behavior. So no, I have not. And then they also ask, what do you think Nintendo could do to revamp the next 2D Mario game and make it feel different? Yes, so I think they've already figured it out. So from Mario Bros. Wii to Wii U, they added a new character. We need new playable characters to make the experience different. They added Nabbit in the Wii U version. I think what they need to do is make Princess Peach a playable character, maybe even Daisy or Wario or Waluigi, because those two are not really in the game. So maybe add Wario and Waluigi into the game. That would make it a whole lot different. I say change up the characters, change up the style of worlds. Like, don't make the first world a grassy world, the second one a sandy desert world, the fourth one a full-on ocean. Like, make it a little bit different. Now, I would still like a grassy world. I would still like a watery world. But just a lot of it feels repetitive, and you can expect a whole lot of it. So hopefully some unexpected brand new worlds. Next, CS asks, do you think that they will make a Mario 3D or 2D game next? Yeah. It's tough, because it's essentially, do you think they will make a Mario Bros. Game next or a Mario Odyssey 2 next? That's kind of the question in different words. I honestly think they will make a Mario Odyssey 2 next, therefore it'll be a 3D Mario game next, because you've already made Mario Odyssey 1, and it's been out for 6 years, almost. So you kind of have to follow it up pretty soon. With Mario Bros., everybody is going to be there for that. Everybody will be there when the next Mario Bros. Game releases. But in terms of a sequel to a game, like, you have to put it out before anything else. Like, for example, for Zelda games, they're not making the sequel to Breath of the Wild 10 years later. They're putting it out 6 years later, which is a decent amount of time. But, like, they shouldn't put out a new Zelda game and then the sequel, which, people would still be excited for it, but I feel like you have to put it out sooner rather than later. So I think 3D Mario game next. Then, for our final question from The Rock, if you have a money credit on the eShop and you want to pre-order Tears of the Kingdom, can you count it and get a discount? So I think what you mean, like if you have funds already on there, can it count towards the pre-order? The answer is yes. So if I have $15 worth of funds in my eShop account, I believe that you can definitely use that to make your Tears of the Kingdom pre-order a bit cheaper. At least through the eShop. Like you couldn't have the funds in there and then try to pre-order it from the actual website or like Best Buy. That doesn't work. But if you have like $15 of funds in the eShop and then you pre-order Zelda in the eShop, I believe that you have to add the remaining funds, but it would still count towards that purchase. If that is your question, I hope that I answered it. And that is all of the questions. So thank you all so much for listening, watching, viewing, subscribing, liking the podcast, leaving us a good rating, so to speak. Any of these great things, it is much appreciated. Mario really appreciates all of your support on the Mario Matter. Thank you all so much for everything, for the support, for the listening, for everything. I love you all so much. Let's give a quick shout out. Not quick. This is a big deal. Our channel members subscribe for $2 a month to get shouted out. Let's give a shout out to all of our channel members who so proudly support the channel and everything it stands for. It's Kate. Thank you for being a channel member. Carter Crossing, Abraham Belts, Jeremy Rivera, Heisenberg TSG, Fleetway Sonic YT, and Kuyakoi. Thank you all so much for being channel members. If you want to become a channel member, get access to unreleased videos, get access to my recording sessions for YouTube Shorts, get access to custom emojis, all this kind of cool stuff on YouTube. If you go to my YouTube page, there's a join button. You can do that or click the link in the description. That's a lot easier. Now, if you're on mobile, you'll have to do the link in the description. If you're on a computer, whether you're on Spotfiy, wherever you are, the link might be the easiest way. Although if you're on a computer, there is a join button in the next to my username. There you go. Channel members, I love you all. I love everybody listening. Thank you all so much for the support. I'll see you in the next episode number 34. Ask me questions on Discord to answer. And with that, I'll see you all then. Extra mega adios.